Hello and welcome back to Possession Football. We continue our series of UEFA Euro 2020 previews with a look at Group C's third team, Austria. Austria didn't qualify for the 2018 FIFA World Cup and they came second in the Nations League group, behind Bosnia and Herzegovina but ahead of Northern Ireland. They qualified second in Group G behind Poland but ahead of North Macedonia, Slovenia, Israel and Latvia. We'll have a look at their qualifying results in a second, and they did win their second Nations League group, getting promoted ahead of Norway, Romania and Northern Ireland. They've started World Cup qualifiers with mixed form, a win against the Faroe Islands, but then a draw against Scotland and a 4-0 loss at home to Denmark. They've had friendlies against England away and Slovakia at home in preparation. They'll play North Macedonia in Bucharest, the Netherlands in Amsterdam, and then return to Bucharest to play Ukraine in Group C. Well, let's have a look at the qualifying results for Austria, and it started pretty poorly. A loss at home to Poland is acceptable, if quite poor, but then away to Israel, starting with 0 points. But after that, they recovered well. Wins against Slovenia, North Macedonia and Latvia, a creditable draw away to Poland, and then 3 more wins against Israel, Slovenia and North Macedonia to qualify. That loss away to Latvia, although quite embarrassing, didn't really matter because they were already qualified by then. The manager is German Franco Foda, who has had a respectable playing career and then went in to manage Sturm Graz's amateur team before becoming assistant coach of the seniors in 2002, although when the manager was sacked, he filled in for the rest of the season. He then went to Sturm Graz 2, which is their B team, for a few years before returning to Sturm Graz in 2006. He was there for 6 years, winning an Austrian Cup and an Austrian Bundesliga. Next was Kaiserslautern, but he was sacked after just 1 season. He then returned to Sturm Graz, but in 2018 took charge of the Austrian national team. As a player, he won 2 DFB Pokals, 2 Austrian Bundesligas, 1 Austrian Cup and an Austrian Super Cup. As manager, he's won 1 Austrian Cup at Sturm Graz, and the next season an Austrian Bundesliga. He has now picked his 26-man squad for the Euros. Firstly, we'll have a look at the goalkeepers. Daniel Bachmann from Watford. He, at the start of the season, he'd never been capped before, and he was number 2 for Watford in England's second tier. But he's fought his way past Ben Foster to be Watford's number 1 goalie, and has now played in both of Austria's friendlies. However, I still think it's unlikely he'll start. Pavel Pervan is second choice for Wolfsburg and is a backup for his country. Alexander Schlager is regular starter for Lask. Now, I think that he's Austria's number 1. However, because Bachmann played in both friendlies, that has given me a little bit of doubt. But we will see. I still think he should be starting for Austria. Next is the defenders, of which there are 8. David Alaba of Bayern, he's a centre-back who can also play midfield. He normally plays at left midfield for his country, but he's a very class player. He's probably the only player in Austria's team that can be called a world-class, a cut above. But over-reliance on him will be costly. Alexander Dragovic is a centre-back. He's lost his place at Leverkusen. He's going to Krvna next season in Serbia, but he still just about gets in the Austria team. Marco Friedl is a centre-back who's not a regular starter for his country, but just a backup option at centre-back, and he's still young. I'm sure he'll get his chance. He keeps working hard. Martin Hinteregger missed the last international break with injury, but he's back now and ready to take his starting place in Austria's defence. Stefan Leiner is Austria's starting right back. I don't see any reason that will change for this tournament. Philipp Lienhardt is another backup centre-back option for Austria, another youngster. Stefan Posch is a centre-back. He missed the last 2 international breaks, and I think he's unlikely to start. But he's certainly another option there. And Andreas Ulmer is the starting left-back for Salzburg, but also for Austria. He's the captain for Salzburg as well. There are 12 midfielders to tell you about, starting with Julian Baumgartlinger, the Austria captain, who missed the last international break with a pretty horrific injury, but he got minutes in their final friendly, and I think he'll be able to start at the finals. Christoph Baumgartner is naturally an attacking midfielder. He's often also used on the wing for his country. I think he will start. I think the main question might be where rather than if. Florian Grilic is a defensive midfielder. He has broken into the national team of late, but because of the return of Baumgartlinger, he might miss out on a starting place. Stefan Ilsanker will expect to start at defensive midfielder. He can also play at centre-back if required. Konrad Laimer is a class act, but he's missed the entire season with a nightmare injury. It might be a risk to start him ahead of Ilsanker at the final tournament immediately in the first game, considering this. Valentino Lazaro is a right midfielder who's been played in a variety of positions, most prominently right winger this season, but not expected to start for his country. Karim Onisiwo is a striker naturally. He's listed as a midfielder because he can also play at number 10. And he's not expected to start in either position anyway, mostly because of this man, Marcel Sabitzer, who has 9 goals and 7 assists from central midfield this season, plays as number 10 for his country, one of their best players, guaranteed on the team sheet. Louis Schaub is an attacking midfielder with 9 goals and 11 assists this season, often used off the bench for his country, and because Sabitzer's ahead of him, he's not going to start. Xaver Schlager is another central midfielder. He can really play anywhere in midfield for Austria, be it attacking, defensive, left or right, or central. But he's going to miss out on a starting place, in my view. Alessandro Schopf has had a pretty difficult season. He's a right midfielder. He plays for Schalke, who have finished bottom of the league, and he can't even break into that team, which is almost impressive. He's very unlikely to start in the Euros because of this. Christopher Trimmel is naturally a right back, but he often plays at right midfield for his club, Union Berlin. He's a backup option for his country. He made his first 3 caps in 2009 and 2010. His 4th cap came in 2019. That's a nice story after a 9-year hiatus, getting back into the team. But, back into the setup. He's not in the starting 11, though. We have 3 forwards to tell you about. Marko Arnautovic, who is an interesting one. Firstly, he has an injury to recover from, although he did get a substitute appearance in a friendly against Slovakia 3 days ago. That was his 3rd cap since the start of 2020. Now, he's one of Austria's most high-profile players, but now he plays in China PR. He's not, in great form. If he was that good a striker, ready to play at this level, he should be tearing up the pretty weak Chinese league. That doesn't happen. I don't think he's deserving of a starting place in the Euros. Someone who definitely won't start is number 3 striker, Michael Gregorich. Could even be considered number 4 when you consider Onisiwo. He is a backup option for his country, plays for Augsburg. Sasha Kaladzic netted 17 this season for Stuttgart. I think 17 in the Bundesliga is more impressive than 8 in the Chinese league. And I think he should be ahead of Arnautovic as Austria's main striker. Now, Franco Foda has picked a 4-2-3-1, and he has experimented a little bit in the qualifiers in the Nations League, but in the 2 friendlies he went with a 4-2-3-1, so I think for this tournament at least he will be sticking with it. As I said, Alexander Schlager I expect to start in goal, but Bachmann is extremely close between the two. A back 4 of Leiner, Hinteregger, Dragovic and Ulmer, Baumgartlinger and Ilsanker as the DMs. Baumgartner, I think, on the right, Sabitzer as attacking midfielder, Alaba on the left and Kaladzic up front. But Foden might prefer Arnautovic. He's definitely more qualified to make the decision than me, but in my opinion, Kaladzic should start. England played Austria. Austria played England in the first of their 2 friendlies away at the Riverside in Middlesbrough. The referee was Lawrence Visser of Belgium. The England team, full of familiar faces, we will go through when we do their preview, which shouldn't be too long away. In goal, Pickford, a back 4 of Alexander-Arnold, Cody, Mings and Trippier, a midfield 3 of Grealish, Rice and Bellingham, and a front 3 of Lingard, Captain Kane and Saka. Austria playing, UEFA call it a 3-5-2 officially. It's not a 3-5-2, it's a 4-2-3-1. Bachmann in goal, Friedel and Leiner as the fullbacks, Dragovic and Hinteregger as the centre-backs. the DMs as Baumgartner and Leimer and Xavier Schlager. Alaba and Baumgartner on the wings, Sabitzer as number 10, Kaladzic up front. The first half didn't have too much action. That yellow card for Xavier Schlager for a foul on Saka. No subs at half time. Liner also booked for a foul on Saka. And it was Saka that opened the scoring. It was a great counter-attacking move from England. A pass from Grealish and Saka had an open goal, although it was at a tight angle. The subs came on the hour mark. 4 for England. Watkins, Calvert-Lewin, Godfrey and Ward-Prowse on for Lingard, Kane, Mings and Rice. And 2 for Austria, Grilic and Schaub on for Liner and Baumgartner. Calvert-Lewin, after just 5 minutes after coming on, getting a yellow card for a foul on Dragovic. 3 more subs after 70 minutes. White on for Grealish and Gregoritsch and Schopf on for Kaladzic and Alaba. With 10 minutes to go, Trimmel and Baumgartlinger on for Leimer and Xavier Schlager, but it didn't change the game. Hinteregger booked for a foul on Calvert-Lewin and Alexander-Arnold booked as well. And of course he came off injured, so England did finish the game with 10 men. So yeah, Austria with that 4-2-3-1. I don't know why it's officially listed as a 3-5-2, because it definitely wasn't. But Austria, they will be happy with how they defended. They were playing a very good opponent, but they were a bit uninspiring going forward, lacking quality. They're playing a very good team, I understand that, but you still expect them to show a bit more attacking impetus. Now, Austria's second game was at home to Slovakia, their final friendly, their final send-off at Ernst Happel Stadion in Vienna. The referee was Urs Schneider of Switzerland. Austria playing, again, it's listed as a 4-4-2 officially. It's not one. Backman in goal, a back four of Trimmel, Reinhardt, Hinteregger and Ulmer. But then Alaba and Grilic were playing as DMs. Baumgartner, Sabitzer and Lazaro, the 3, and then up front Kaladzic. As for the Slovakia team, we'll meet these players. I'm sure you've heard of a few of them at least, but we'll have a look at them when we do the preview of Slovakia. Dubravka in goal, a back four of Pekarit, Satchkar, Skriniar and Huvachan. Kucha and Hromada, double pivot. Kucha as captain. Haraslin, Duda and Mack behind Schrantz as the front 4. Now, immediately there was an injury to Schrantz, and hopefully he'll be alright, but he's replaced by Durdish. At half-time, Austria making 2 subs, Leimer and Schaub on for Alaba and Sabitzer. The sole yellow card of the game came as Hubasan was booked for a foul on Lazaro. And then Austria brought Ilsanker on for Baumgartner. Slovakia making 3 subs, Rozovsky, Weiss and Gregoric on for Kuka, Mack and Framada. Arnautovic then came on for Kaladzic, which is a positive for him to get half an hour, try to get his fitness back. And he did look quite lively, to be fair to him. Hit the post. Slovakia bringing on Koselnik and Benez for Haraslin and Duda with 15 minutes to go. Austria brought on Posch and Gregoritsch for Trimmel and Lazaro, but no goals in the game. Both teams did show attacking intent despite the scoreline. Austria will be happy again. They got a clean sheet. But a 0-0 draw at home to Slovakia. Not really the result I would have wanted. Again, not scoring in either friendly. Not building the momentum they would have wanted before the final tournament. They do have their first game against North Macedonia. That's a game that they'll need desperately to win if they want a safe passage through, because they've got a tricky group. They'll need to score. They'll need to go forward, get chances and score them. It's as simple as that. And if they don't, they'll get punished for it. So that's my preview for Austria. I hope you enjoyed. The next one is the final team in Group C, North Macedonia. We're very close to the finals now, just 2 days away. I'm extremely excited. I'm sure you all are as well. And I hope to see you through the content for this all across the Euros. See you then.